Hi there everyone, it's so good to have you on board another informative Jamaica Magazine journey. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. There's a lot to unpack in this half hour, starting with our news of the day. You can't miss any of it, so stay with us for the full viewing after this important message.
Jamaica's population is aging rapidly. Over 350,000 or 13.2% of Jamaicans are senior citizens. These individuals deserve our care and respect. Very often, our senior citizens are neglected, disregarded, and disrespected. It's time to act. A special select committee of the Senate is reviewing a motion proposing the creation of an Elderly Care and Protection Act to better safeguard the rights and dignity of our senior citizens. We invite you to share your suggestions and recommendations about what should be included in this act. Send your submission in writing to Clerk to the Houses, Gordon House, 81 Duke Street, Kingston, or email clerk@japarliament.gov.jm. The deadline for submissions is February 15, 2025. Let's work together to protect and create a more inclusive and supportive Jamaica for our senior citizens.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan and this is your JS News for Monday, February 3, 2025. A phased handover of the Morant Bay Urban Centre in St. Thomas is expected to begin mid-February. That update comes from Littleton Shirley, chairman of the Factories Corporation of Jamaica, which is managing the project. He was speaking to the media during a tour of the facility last Thursday with the British High Commissioner to Jamaica, Judith Slater. Mr. Shirley explains that the project, which was expected to be completed by January, has been delayed due to natural causes such as the weather, as well as setbacks with the Jamaica Public Service Company. However, the development is now in the final stages.
We are expecting the check to give us a final handing over of all the buildings by the mid of March. But come February, mid-February, we'll have a phased handover of some of the buildings.
The Morant Bay Urban Centre development includes a main commercial building which houses almost 70 different individual clients, as well as 8 warehouses that will be used for distribution and manufacturing. There are also 6 standalone client buildings, which Mr. Shirley says are the closest to completion.
What you'll find that most of the standalone buildings are now almost ready to be handed over. That might very much be those for the middle of February. And by the end of February, most of the commercial building space will be ready to be handed over.
Once the spaces are completed and handed over to clients, the FCJ chairman says they will be given a 3-month preparation and build-out period to fit out the facilities suitable to their operations. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is addressing recent public discourse about delays in delivering some units under the new social housing program, NSHP. The most recent matter arose last week as the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation clarified what led to the delay of 2 NSHP houses in central Kingston and steps taken to expedite their completion. While on a home delivery in St. James last Friday, Dr. Holness asserted that the government too was concerned with ensuring that persons get to access their new and improved living conditions as quickly as possible.
The government of Jamaica, and indeed myself, we are very sympathetic and understand the issues that would arise for persons who are waiting on their houses to be built, but there are delays. And we move as quickly as we can to have those resolved. And indeed, in the instant cases that have been raised, we are moving as quickly as we can to have those beneficiaries get their houses as quickly as possible.
He says that while contractors engaged for the NSHP have generally delivered on a timely basis, there are no guarantees and exceptions do occur. The Prime Minister points to location and terrain accessibility, labour issues and security, especially in volatile communities, as just some of the issues that can and do delay construction. But he insists that these do not take away from the overall value of the programme, stressing that in all such cases, the government acts quickly to rectify the issue.
For example, this house that we are handing over, we have had to terminate 2 contractors and go back again to the market to find a 3rd contractor to complete this house. The government of Jamaica would not itself set out not to finish the houses as quickly as possible. That would not be in our interest.
Dr. Holness made the remarks while delivering a brand new unit to Thressa Hervin of Elysium Lawson in St. James. The Prime Minister and his team then went on to the communities of Red Hills, Cambridge and Maroontown to deliver more houses. Ground has been broken for the $60 million Hampshire to Riversdale water system, set to benefit over 3,500 residents in northeast St. Catherine. It represents phase 1 of a larger $330 million project and is to be done over 4 months. The initiative is being spearheaded by Rural Water Supply Limited and is one of 19 such developments that the organization is pursuing across the island.
Water is indeed a priority of your government. And that priority is being matched with investment, it is being matched with action, and it is being managed very well by the agencies in charge of this mandate.
The project is to include the installation of a galvanized iron and PVC transmission pipeline, a PVC distribution pipeline, and a 30,000-gallon reinforced concrete sump. Installation of a 100,000-gallon bolted steel storage tank and a solar pumping system are also included. Access to credit for businesses and entrepreneurs is expected to be significantly expanded through new changes coming to the Security Interests in Personal Property Act, SIPA. Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce Senator Aubin Hill, who is leading the charge, says work to this effect is far advanced. While addressing last week's post-cabinet press briefing, he said a joint select committee of Parliament reviewing the Act approved its draft report on Thursday, January 23. That outlined significant recommendations to strengthen SIPA's framework and enhance access to credit.
With the last meeting earlier this month, the data has now gone to the Attorney General to create the law, and we hope to have this very soon because I'm pushing it to make sure that there are the SIPA is there to make sure it's much more inclusive, more ordinary people, more entrepreneurs can come in and get access to financial services, borrow money.
Recommendations put forward by the Joint Select Committee will be presented in Parliament for debate and approval after final legal reviews. The proposed changes will allow more individuals and businesses to utilize the potential of movable assets as security for financing arrangements, among other things. And finally, the St. James Municipal Corporation will be hosting a City Hall meeting on Thursday, February 6, where matters surrounding Montego Bay's city limits and other concerns are to be discussed. Mayor of Montego Bay, Richard Vernon, tells JIS News the importance of the meeting.
Persons keep saying that they are from Montego Bay, they live in Montego Bay, but not necessarily so. We need to declare that area. We need to know the population of Montego Bay. We need to know how many houses we have in Montego Bay. Can we manage garbage collection within the space? What is required pertaining to waste management? We need to know how we respond. So ambulance is available within the space. Not that we are going to neglect the other areas of St. James. That's not so. But we have to designate an area where we get things at a certain level of management going, and then we can replicate this right across the municipality.
The meeting will also address concerns that have been raised over the keeping of animals in residential neighborhoods.
Once we look at the restricted area and we declare it as a restricted area, then persons will need license to operate within the space. Operating meaning that they will need license to keep animals.
The meeting will commence at 4 p.m. at the Montego Bay Cultural Center in Sam Sharp Square. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
Life has its ups and downs, and in the unfortunate case of someone finding his or herself behind bars for running afoul of the law, getting the opportunity to turn over a new leaf could be seen as a blessing. We now turn the pages for a look at the work of the Department of Correctional Services and how they are helping to rehabilitate persons to lead better lives.
The Department of Correctional Services DCS was formed in 1975 and plays a pivotal role in monitoring persons on parole and those serving custodial and non-custodial sentences. Their mission is to see to the security, rehabilitation, and reintegration of offenders as productive and law-abiding citizens.
The institution tries to mirror society in general as best as possible so that on the release of an inmate, the reintegration will be as seamless as is possible. Our first interaction with inmates are when the courts send them to us. In general, the courts send 3 different categories of inmates: convicted, awaiting trial, and those that have been convicted and have appealed their sentences. In regards to the convicted persons, we hold inmates start ranging from 30 days to multiple life sentences. When they are admitted, first thing we categorize them in those 3 categories. Then we go to security, whether they are of a high security, which if they escape would pose a danger to the society and to the public in general. Then we have just regular inmates who cannot be held in low security but has to stay in one of the maximums. We also have inmates who can be classified and sent to the medium securities, which are the farm institutions, Tamarind Farm and Richmond Farm. They concentrate on farming, but they still do other rehab activities.
Meanwhile, female inmates are held at the South Camp Adult Correctional Facility, where they serve the same range of sentences in the 3 categories. Females who will soon give birth are also held at that facility and have a nursery available to them.
After 6 months, a report is done on a family member or a friend who could be a guardian of that child, and if the report come back as those people being suitable guardians, the child is handed over to them. If there's no suitable guardian, the child will be placed in a children's home, and at the release of the mother, they can be reunited. If the mother is to be released in a short period, say up to when the child is 1 year old, the child will be allowed to stay with the mother.
Rehabilitation in our care is under the arms of many branches, which would comprise the probation arm, the chaplaincy, the rehab industry, and the rehab branch. Within the rehabilitation branch, we have teachers at all levels. It's mandatory for the children to go to school and to be in vocational areas, as well as to be exposed to sports and chaplaincy. We also engage them in sessions with our case managers.
In addition, there are trained custodial officers who help with not only security, but also operate as social workers.
This is the initial part in terms of doing rehabilitation, where we have to assess where our inmates are, not just on the custodial side to see how severe of a crime or if they are high risk, but we also look at where they are in their biopsychosocial, so we can know whether or not they are high, low, or medium risk.
The Department of Correctional Services also provides a myriad of academic opportunities for inmates at the CSEC and CAPE levels.
So we offer more than 13 areas when it comes on to CSEC, and when it comes on to the CAPE exam, we offer 2. Some of the offerings that we have at the CSEC level, we have principles of accounts, we have principles of business, maths, English, social studies, history, to name a few. At the Cape, we only offer now mathematics and economics.
The department also offers vocational courses that extend beyond the theoretical aspects.
We have vocational areas such as barbering, and this is at both the adult and the juvenile level. We also have welding. We have projects where we do masonry, plumbing, painting, and of course, most of our maintenance are done not just by officers within the institution, but inmates as well.
An infirmary is also available to inmates who have difficulty taking care of themselves. Professionals who work in the regular infirmary assist them in their day-to-day activities.
We also have family days where inmates are allowed to interact with their children twice annually, where fathers and mothers, in the case of South Camp, are allowed to sit with their children, interact closely for maybe 15 to 20 minutes, because these events are a big deal for the children to see their parents. We also have a system where inmates are granted parole. There are a number of reports that goes into the parole. We have the report from the institution, which is done by the superintendent. There is the police report, and there is the community report. All of those are viewed by the parole board, and then a decision is made whether or not that person will be granted parole.
Oftentimes, person would hear the sad story, but it's time for us to look at the success, look at the positive, to see that our inmates and our wards in our care, they are doing exceptionally well. They want to make a change, and we're asking that society will also buy into that to allow them to have a smooth reintegration. Oftentimes, there is a stigma attached, but we ask that persons will give them that sense of hope to say anybody can change. The fact that they are making strides within, we hope that society can forgive and to have an open arm so they can execute that which we have taught them, that which they have engaged themselves in. We hope that society can help as well, that we can meet that vision for 2030.
Want to know the law pertaining to renting a house? What about the procedure if you're arrested? Or what is defined as corruption? Then click on the Ministry of Justice website. It has information on every law passed in Jamaica. The House of Parliament portal also has the more recent year's pieces of legislation. The sites are easy to search and the files are downloadable. Make access to justice your business. Know your rights.
It's Reggae Month and we are looping you in the vibe to catch the rhythm. Our next feature explores the evolution of the music and its intrinsic tie to dance expressions.
The
lady G's, the lady saws.
Rude is in court now, boys. Scratch Perry and King Tubby, what they did, and that is influencing modern music production today.
The torso is tilted forward, the arms are going up and down.
The original sound system owners, Tom the Great Sebastian, Thomas Wong.
If you look at stuff like, Sata Masagana, people love the song and love the rhythm.
This is a story about Jamaica, but more so its unique soundtrack and exceptional tunes. A story about the beats that keep the feet, hips, arms, hearts, and souls of Jamaicans moving.
Modern Jamaican music can trace its origin to the sound system. Now, the sound system can trace its roots to Tom Wong, the man who had the sound system called Tom the Great Sebastian. After that, people like Arthur Duke Reid and Clement Sir Cox and Dodd decided that they were making their entry into the sound system business. The mood in America, where they were getting the music from, shifted, and the sound system operators decided that they needed to find a way of getting exclusive music, and one of the ways they thought they could do so was to create their own, and that's how ska was born. The anthem for that period, for me, would be Derek Morgan's Forward March.
Together be brothers and sisters, we're independent. 1962 on the 6th of August, when them was going to have this celebration of Jamaica independent, I was the one on a truck back, and I sing Forward March on that.
There was a close relationship between music and dance. So in ska, the torso is tilted forward. Now there was the options of the arm going up and down, side to side, forward and back. But the overall shape of the movement was very low.
By 1966, ska had made way for rocksteady.
Land of the black, gold, and green. I guess the musicians decided that they want to slow it down a little bit, that people can more relax, you know, in the dancing and thing. So here comes the rocksteady moment.
It was definitely a less exuberant type of music. And some people say that that is reflective of the fact that people were coming to terms with what the Independence Project meant, and they were not as confident as they were a few years before.
No. So the movement was always coming back to center because you are taking control of your space. So it is an undisturbed, cool, the rude boy thing.
It was soon the late 1960s, and what continued as a demonstration of our ingenuity and innovation, as well as a reflection of our souls as Jamaicans, was the evolution of rocksteady to reggae.
Sold died to the merchant ships.
So reggae comes along at a point when Jamaica is now mature in the development of indigenous music. And reggae becomes message music influenced by Rastafari's ideological positioning.
This is why the Bob Marley is so successful, the Burning Spears and a whole lot of people, because the message of the music resonated internationally with the struggles of poorer people.
When we got into the reggae era, we got a lot more of the movement that we would find at the Bobo camps, at the Nyabingi 12 tribe sessions, a lot of swing, the head nods, and a lot more of that religious reverence.
At the turn of the late 1970s, a new beat was formed, one that would share the stage with reggae.
And me, she want, see how me cute. So the dancehall was a space, and then it moved to become a genre. So then everybody, women and men, dance close together and dance and rub-a-dub.
Dancehall, of course, completely in an ethnomusicological context, different because you're getting staccato rhythms now, a faster paced beat. But dancehall emerges as Jamaica's premier street theatre.
Dancehall and the rise and the growth of dancehall music came about when Steely and Clevie came on the scene and started digitizing the music.
Right along with that came the movements, of course. Bogle dance, created by Gerald Bogle-Levy in 1992. You had World Dance, which followed up, and so many others. We went on to see the Butterfly, the Tatty, the Prang, a host of dancehall movements. Dance doesn't operate in a vacuum, so it's intrinsically linked to music.
But no musical genre developed after the 1960s isn't influenced by Jamaican music.
All motorists, pedestrians, private and public operators, motorcyclists, it is important for us to drive defensively. Driving defensively saves lives, and we know that lives are most important to each and every one of us. It is important also to be trained and certified as a defensive driver, for it increases the likelihood that you'll prevent collisions on our roadways.
Jamaica is establishing itself as a financial mecca in the global sphere. Leading the charge is the Jamaica International Financial Services Authority, a government body in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. In the few remaining minutes of Jamaica Magazine, we'll hear more about their commitment to business growth and economic development in Jamaica.
In the heart of the Caribbean lies a beacon of financial opportunity. Welcome to Jamaica, where beauty and vibrance meet business and innovation. At the forefront of making Jamaica a robust financial hub, the Jamaica International Financial Services Authority leads the charge with trust and integrity.
Here at GIFSA, our mandate is centered around stimulating economic growth and investment in the Jamaican economy through legislation.
Through legislation, GIFSA has had acts modeled on laws of leading financial services jurisdictions worldwide. The legislation includes the Trusts Act, which allows for flexibility in succession planning and family offices, the Trust and Corporate Services Providers Act, which regulates the provision of fiduciary services, as well as the Partnership Limited Act.
At GIFSA, our aim is to foster economic diversification and boost Jamaica's economic landscape.
GIFSA takes pride in cultivating a business environment that supports growth and sustainability through innovation. GIFSA is a partner that will guarantee new opportunities. Join us in Jamaica, where the Jamaica International Financial Services Authority helps you embark on a journey of endless possibilities. GIFSA, new legislation, new opportunities.
Our half-hour journey through the pages of Jamaica Magazine ends right here for today. But please join us again tomorrow on this station for more news, features, and information you can use to live, work, raise families, do business, and of course, retire in paradise. In the meantime, visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for this and other offerings. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Till next time, take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.